There's good reason to love this property. There's good reason to question why it's here, and there's good reason to think it's the opposite of what a resort is meant to be. Join me for this full tour and find out which of those three I'm leaning into. Welcome to Oman. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kevin and I am the Flip Flop Traveler. I'm here to give you honest content about flights, hotels, trains, and cruises. I paid for this stay out of pocket, and as always the price that I paid is in the description below. Alila had no knowledge that I'd be filming, and I didn't receive any compensation for doing so. Everything in this video is my personal opinion, based on my own unique experience. The rest, I'll let speak for itself. Let's get started. I just arrived from Muscat, and now we're on a bit of a sunset drive from the airport here in Salalah to the Alila, which is around a 75-minute drive away. Because of the distance, your two reasonable options are to rent a car or to arrange transfers directly with the hotel. Those transfers are 55 Omani Rial each way, about $143. My pickup had a bit of a snafu, so I was stuck waiting at the airport for 40 minutes for my transfer. Not the greatest start. This Alila opened in June of 2021 and has a total of 112 rooms and villas spread across a massive 45 hectares of land. Alila, for those of you that don't know, is a brand which Hyatt acquired some years ago and is now, in my opinion, one of the most fascinating brands in the portfolio. Especially considering the properties which have opened after Hyatt's takeover, Alila properties seem to be quite happy taking a risk and pushing the boundaries of remote but mainstream tourism. At its heart, Alila is a lifestyle brand which I've covered multiple times on the channel. For a bit of their history, check out my Alila Ubud video, linked in the description below. Here in Oman, this is the second Alila, the other being on the outskirts of Muscat. As you'll see here in the reception area and throughout the property, the design seamlessly combines the aesthetics of Alila with the traditions of Oman. Designed by Ibrahim Jaida architects, the look is meant to be contemporary minimalist with a distinct Omani touch. Omani marble is used in abundance throughout the property, and in everything from the archways to the water features, the design is rooted locally. From my personal perspective, this simply continues the narrative that Alila does so well creating. I think they are easily the most consistent modern brand out there to time and time again combine their signature style with local designs and make it make sense. My hat is off to them for that. As you can see here though, the layout and the look of this resort is not exactly your average place. To better understand, let's take a look at where we are before we explore the pools and the coastline. Oman is becoming more and more well known as a luxury and cultural travel destination, but fairly quietly. I think it's safe to say that 97% of that interest is in and around Muscat, the capital. So it begs the question, why am I all the way over here in the Dhofar Governorate? Much closer to Yemen than Muscat. You can see the property, more or less in this area, with the common buildings and the low-rise accommodation buildings dotted throughout. Salalah is famous for its Kharif season, which lasts from June until September. If you'd believe it, this whole region is completely blanketed in fog the entire time, and so what normally looks like a barren desert comes to life, and with it come the tourists, mostly from around the region. Like any destination which is up and coming on the Western world front, you need a few properties which make the journey worth the effort. And this Alila, I felt, was just that. This property is best for those who have likely traveled extensively, or those who are visiting Muscat or Oman for the first time. It's a very easy flight from Muscat, and especially if you're flying to another location directly from Salalah, like I did to Dubai, it could fill a niche in your itinerary quite nicely. I would guess the first reaction for most viewers, at least the ones that didn't realize what this resort was, is something along the lines of, "It doesn't look finished," or "It looks barren." I get that, and I won't lie and say that it looks different in person, but that's also kind of why I love it. It's just so unbelievably different, and just done really well. Surely you've noticed that the landscaping here is very different. Rather than fill the space with tropical plants which require an obscene amount of water, obscene by middle of the nowhere desert standards at least, everything here was designed to feature native and adaptive plants, which respond well to the extremes of the local climate. From afar, I'll admit it doesn't look like much, but up close, the variety is beautiful. The resort has two primary pools, the first of which here is near the reception area and is the smaller of the two. One thing that'll make the weather in my video a bit crap though, is the fact that we were being hit by a tropical cyclone. This is like a once in 20 years type deal for Oman, and when I arrived and checked in, basically the third thing we talked about was the resort's preparations for the cyclone, which I had no idea about prior to coming. While the cyclone did hit on my second night there, the mountains behind us did a solid and caused quite a bit of the storm to break up as it reached shore. But it did make for a very gray 2 days and a rainy second day. Long story short, don't hold the persistent gray skies or rough surf against the resort. Outside of Kharif season, it is certainly not the norm. Note that normally there would be umbrellas and knickknacks and such all around, but by the time I arrived, everything that could fly away was already secured. Here's your friendly reminder to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with friends and family. Those are truly the easiest ways, and they're all free for you to help support the channel. If you'd like to support me further, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks very much in advance. Okay, let's head down towards the coastline, which will bring us to the other pool. Keep in mind, the resort is technically fully accessible. There are buggies available at all times, and the majority of guests use them. But after my first arrival buggy ride, I always just walked around, which was especially pleasant due to the cloudy weather when I was there. To put this into perspective, using the buggy paths as reference, from the reception area to that first pool is around 225 meters or 750 feet. And the distance between the two pools is a bit over 500 meters or 1600 feet. Neither of these taking into account the elevation. The primary pool is surrounded on two sides by the indoor and outdoor areas of the sea salt restaurant, which I'll show you in a little while. This pool, on a beautiful sunny day, with turquoise waters all around you at the bottom of the cliffs, would be well worth the price of admission alone for me. Sea Salt focuses on South and Southeast Asian flavors, and its menu is a nice departure from typical Arabian preparations. Though you could always find those at the other restaurant, The Orchard. Now, here's where the true adventure part could kick in if you're someone who enjoys your walks or a bit of exploring. The amount of property which the buildings actually take up is easily less than half of the total area. And so dotted throughout it are designated lookout points, yoga pavilions, beaches, and artifacts to keep things interesting. I'll let you have a bit of a look around and explore before we head to my room. Okay, time to visit my villa. As much as I do enjoy this resort, I'll be the first to admit that if the rooms here sucked, or even if they were just okay, then this would likely not make it onto my list. But my villa here may have been my favorite room in a very long time. So you've heard about promos like, book with us and the 4th night is free, right? Well, I kinda hit the jackpot with this stay because I booked through Expedia, and just by chance, the promo 6 months before my stay when I booked it was, book now and the 2nd night is free. That means for this 2-night stay, my pool villa was effectively under $400 per night. Walking inside, there's a small entry hall which then leads to the living room. You could, host a Super Bowl party in here for 12 people, with loads of space to spare. I love all of the lighter neutral tones offset with just enough hints of color to keep it on the lively side of things. When I arrived, the room was fully stocked with a few welcome treats and a fruit basket, as well as 6 liters of glass bottled water and a full Nespresso and tea station. Two thumbs up for not being cheap with the pods. If you head down to the description, you'll find my next 5 videos to come out, as well as a link to my other resort videos. On your way down there, don't forget to subscribe. I release full-length videos every Thursday and Saturday. And now we head into the bedroom. I'm not normally someone that lies in bed, watches TVs, lounges for hours in the mornings, but I did make an exception for this incredibly comfortable bed, in the middle of a cyclone. I'll put up the extra bits now as we have a look around. This is the first hotel, since I started taking notes on these things, that ticked every box perfectly, and for the bedding and linens would be categorized as luxurious or premium on each line. That's not even to mention the outstanding housekeeping. This place was faultless when it came to cleanliness, and housekeeping in general was very responsive if ever you needed something brought to your room. Behind the bed, we have the very Alila bathroom, which I absolutely loved. The only critique in the bathroom was that since the showers, the double showers, are fully open, during chillier times of the day, those 3 seconds between water off and towel on are pretty invigorating. And of course, the thing that made all of this tie together beautifully was the outdoor pool and lounge area. Straight out ahead in the distance, that's the sea. But if you want a closer water view, then they also have 4 deluxe pool villas, which are essentially the same size and layout as my villa, but have a much more up-close water view. If ever you anticipate being in the middle of the desert during a cyclone, I would highly suggest getting a pool villa. That first night while I was there, I had room service, and not knowing what portions were like, I really overordered. Everything was delicious. The chicken crispy, the salads and meze well seasoned. Besides the fact that I can't wait for beets to drop out of fashion, it was a very promising start on the food front. The second night for dinner, I went to the Orchard, which is near the reception area and is also where you'll have breakfast. The dinner menu at the Orchard is best summed up by them. Quote, "Dinner at the Orchard celebrates the frankincense root, one of the ancient trade routes that define the world and originated from what is now known as Oman's Dhofar region, transporting the prized frankincense to the ancient civilizations of Egypt, Greece, Rome, and the Indian subcontinent." Unquote. I started out with the Omani awal salad with sun-dried fish, onion, and lime. For the main dish, and on the recommendation of my very personable server, I had the shuwa spiced lamb, which was fall off the bone delicious with a date and nut stuffing, served with mandi rice. For dessert, perhaps one of the most unique things that I've ever tasted, I had to try the frankincense ice cream. I'm not really sure I can explain it with food words. Imagine you are having a really delicious yogurt-flavored ice cream while you are sitting equidistant from a burning incense and a bubbling pot of caramel. It was delicate and oddly refreshing. Despite the impending storm, I was hell-bent on seeing a sunrise, at least that first morning, and luckily it did decide to show its face. Heading back to the Orchard now for breakfast. The space has a small continental buffet, as well as an unlimited a la carte supplemental menu. Everything I had was really good, perhaps with the exception of the French toast. A baguette used for French toast is just a pet peeve of mine. Otherwise, the flavors and preparations were all spot on. So as we take a quick look at the spa facility and fitness center, let me talk about the service and then wrap things up. The service was a bit of a mixed bag, but it wasn't some good and some bad. It was some okay and some fantastic. Basically, I found a few staff from reception to have this air of, "Don't bother me," about them. Perhaps they were just pissed off that they were stuck at the resort for the storm. I don't know. Besides them, all of the staff that I met outside of there, from the pool staff to the servers, the housekeepers, and the delivery staff, were all outstanding. Friendly, accommodating, and just overall pleasant to be trapped in the middle of the desert with. So, the Alila Hinu Bay turned what I think of as a beach resort on its head. Certainly, there is nothing groundbreaking here, but I think we often put our blinders on, head to the tropics, and continuously seek out the same style of resort for our holidays. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But for some travelers, I think this kind of resort for, let's say, 3 nights can first and foremost be regenerative, but may also open your eyes to an entire other world of desert-centric resorts. I, for one, have my eyes open. So, I really do hope that you enjoyed this resort review today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe with notifications on, so you don't miss out on my twice-weekly videos. I'll see you next time from a mere 5,100 miles away, as I try out Japanese domestic first class for the first time from Osaka. Oh, and as always, thanks for watching until the end.